Everyone in the building called Maya the invisible girl. To the rich bosses, she was just a cleaning lady who emptied their trash. But one night, the most dangerous man in Chicago stopped breathing right in front of her. While his armed guards stood there shaking with fear, the woman with the mop was the only one who knew how to save his life. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as Maya pushed her cleaning cart down the marble hallway. It was 11 p.m. and the 50th floor was supposed to be empty, but tonight, voices echoed from the conference room. Angry voices, men arguing in Korean. She knew better than to get curious. Curiosity got cleaners fired. She kept her head down and started wiping the glass doors. My husband made a bet that this channel wouldn't hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's prove him wrong together. Drop a hi to him in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. Your support keeps these stories coming. Through the frosted glass, she could see shadows moving. 6 men in expensive suits surrounded a table. One man sat at the head. Even through the blur, Maya recognized him. Choi Sang-hoon, the man who owned half of Chicago's underground, the man everyone whispered about but never said his name out loud. Suddenly, Sang-hoon stood up. He grabbed his throat. His chair crashed backward. The voices stopped. Someone shouted. Sang-hoon's face turned red, then purple. He collapsed onto the table, knocking papers everywhere. Maya froze. The guards rushed forward, but they just stood there looking at each other. Nobody knew what to do. One guard pulled out his phone. Another one started shaking Sang-hoon's shoulders. Maya's combat training kicked in before her brain could stop her. She dropped her mop and pushed the door open. 5 guns pointed at her face immediately. "Get out!" one guard screamed. But Maya's eyes were locked on Sang-hoon. His lips were blue. His chest wasn't moving. She had seen this before in Kandahar, when Sergeant Chen choked on a protein bar. She had maybe 90 seconds. "He's choking," Maya said. Her voice was calm, steady. "Move." Nobody moved. The biggest guard stepped in front of her. "You need to leave right now." "Then he dies in 2 minutes," Maya said. "Your choice." The guards looked at each other. Precious seconds ticked away. Finally, one of them nodded. Maya rushed to Sang-hoon. She tilted his head back and looked down his throat. Something was lodged deep. Too deep for the Heimlich maneuver. She needed to make an airway, fast. Her eyes scanned the room. A fountain pen on the table, a plastic straw in someone's coffee cup. She grabbed both. "Hold him still," she ordered. The guards obeyed without thinking. Maya's hands were steady as she felt for the soft spot on Sang-hoon's throat. She pushed the pen through the skin. Blood spurted. Someone behind her cursed. She didn't flinch. She'd done this in worse conditions, in sandstorms, under gunfire. She inserted the straw into the hole and sealed it with her palm. Sang-hoon's chest rose. Air rushed in. His eyes fluttered open. Maya stepped back. Her hands were covered in blood. The guard stared at her like she'd just performed magic. Sang-hoon looked up at her face. For the first time in 3 years, someone in this building actually saw her. Maya's life was simple. Stay quiet, clean the glass, and collect her paycheck. She used to save soldiers on the battlefield, but now she just tried to survive on minimum wage. 3 years ago, Maya wore combat fatigues and saved lives in Afghanistan. Now she wore a gray uniform with her name stitched crooked on the pocket. The pay was $12.50 an hour, barely enough to cover rent, groceries, and the growing pile of medical bills on her kitchen table. Her mother was dying, kidney failure. The doctors said she needed a transplant. The cost was $100,000. Maya had $847 in her bank account. Every night, she took the bus to the Millennium Tower at 10 p.m. She clocked in, grabbed her cart, and became invisible. The executives never looked at her. They talked on their phones while she emptied their trash. They held meetings while she scrubbed their floors. Once, a lawyer stepped on her hand while she was cleaning under his desk. He didn't even notice. Tonight started like every other night. Maya cleaned the lobby, then took the service elevator up, floor by floor, office by office. The building was a maze of glass and steel, cold, empty, lonely. By 11 p.m., she reached the 50th floor, the executive level. This floor was different. Thicker carpets, bigger desks, the smell of expensive cologne still hanging in the air. She was wiping down a window when she heard them, voices from the conference room. She paused. The 50th floor was always empty by 9 p.m. Always. Maya pushed her cart closer. The voices got louder, angrier, men shouting in Korean. She recognized one voice. Everyone in the building knew that voice. Choi Sang-hoon. He owned the building. He owned the construction companies. He owned the restaurants, the nightclubs, the politicians. People said he could make you rich or make you disappear with one phone call. Maya had seen him twice before, once in the parking garage getting out of a black SUV, once in the lobby surrounded by men in suits. Both times he walked past her like she was furniture. She should have kept walking, should have taken her cart to another floor, but something made her stop. Maybe it was the tone of the voices. Maybe it was the way the guards outside the door looked nervous. She pretended to clean the glass doors. Through the frosted glass, she watched the shadows move inside. That's when everything changed. Sang-hoon stood up suddenly. He grabbed his throat. The shouting stopped. His chair crashed backward. Maya's heart jumped. She'd seen this before, in Kabul, in Kandahar. Soldiers choking on food, on dust, on their own blood. The guards rushed toward Sang-hoon, but they just stood there, frozen, useless. Maya looked at her cart, at her mop, at her dirty gloves. Then she looked at the dying man through the glass. She had a choice: stay invisible and safe, or step forward and risk everything. Her hand reached for the door. Maya breaks the rules to enter the boardroom. She saves Sang-hoon while guns are pointed at her. Maya's hand touched the cold door handle. Her heart was pounding. Every instinct told her to walk away. Cleaners didn't burst into private meetings. Cleaners didn't touch important people. Cleaners got fired for less. But her training was louder than her fear. A man was dying. She had the skills to save him. Nothing else mattered. She pushed the door open. The room went silent. 6 pairs of eyes turned toward her. Then she saw the guns. 3 guards had already drawn their weapons, black pistols pointed straight at her chest. "Get out!" the closest guard yelled. His finger was on the trigger. Maya didn't move. Her eyes were locked on Sang-hoon. He was on the floor now. His face had gone from red to purple to blue. His hands clawed at his throat. 30 seconds, maybe less. "He's choking," Maya said. Her voice didn't shake. "I can help." "You need to leave right now," another guard said. He stepped between her and Sang-hoon. "This is not your business." Maya looked past him. Sang-hoon's movements were getting weaker. His eyes were rolling back. "If I leave, he dies," Maya said. She looked the guard in the eyes. "Is that what you want? To be the man who let your boss die because you stopped someone from helping?" The guard hesitated. Behind him, Sang-hoon's body went still. "Move!" Maya pushed past him. Nobody stopped her this time. She dropped to her knees beside Sang-hoon. Her hands went to his throat, feeling for a pulse. Weak, very weak. She tilted his head back and looked into his mouth. She could see it. A piece of meat lodged deep in his airway, too deep to reach with fingers, too deep for the Heimlich. She needed to cut. She needed to make a hole below the blockage so air could get through. A cricothyrotomy. She'd done it twice in Afghanistan, once on a 19-year-old private, once on a translator who'd been shot in the neck. Her eyes scanned the conference table. Papers, laptops, coffee cups. Then she saw it. A heavy silver fountain pen. And next to it, a plastic straw from someone's iced coffee. She grabbed them both. "Hold his shoulders," she ordered. Her voice had changed. This wasn't the quiet cleaner anymore. This was Staff Sergeant Maya Patterson, combat medic, U.S. Army. 2 guards knelt down and held Sang-hoon still. Maya felt along his throat with her fingers. She found the cricothyroid membrane, the soft spot between the cartilage rings. She positioned the pen. "Don't move," she whispered. She pushed the pen through his skin in one quick motion. Blood spurted onto her hands, her uniform, the carpet. Someone behind her made a choking sound. She ignored it. She pulled the pen out and inserted the plastic straw into the hole. Then she covered the opening with her palm to create a seal. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then Sang-hoon's chest rose. Air rushed into his lungs through the straw. His eyes flew open. He gasped and coughed. Maya sat back on her heels. Her hands were shaking now. Blood covered her fingers. The room was completely silent. Sang-hoon's eyes found her face. He stared at her like he was trying to memorize every detail. The guards stared too. The woman in the dirty uniform, the invisible cleaner, the person who just saved the most powerful man in Chicago. One guard pulled out his phone. "I'm calling an ambulance." Maya nodded. "He needs a hospital. That straw won't hold long." Sang-hoon tried to speak, but Maya put her hand on his shoulder. "Don't talk. Don't move. Just breathe." He nodded. His hand reached up and grabbed her wrist. His grip was strong. His eyes asked a question she couldn't understand yet. Outside, sirens were already screaming toward the building. Maya stood up slowly. Her knees were wet with blood. She looked at the men in expensive suits, the guards with their guns, the massive table with its leather chairs. Then she looked at her cleaning cart in the doorway, at her mop lying on the floor. She'd just crossed a line she could never uncross. Sang-hoon wakes up and demands to find the woman who saved him. The ambulance took Sang-hoon away at midnight. Maya watched from the hallway as the paramedics rolled him out on a stretcher. The plastic straw was still in his throat. His eyes followed her until the elevator doors closed. Then the guards turned to look at her. "You need to come with us," one of them said. Maya's stomach dropped. "Am I in trouble?" "Just come." They took her to a small office on the 49th floor, made her sit in a leather chair, asked her questions. "What's your name? How did you know what to do? Where did you learn that?" Maya answered carefully. She told them about the army, about her medical training. She didn't tell them about the bills, about her mother, about the $847 in her bank account. After an hour, they let her go. "Don't talk to anyone about tonight," the head guard said. "Understand?" Maya nodded. She took the service elevator down, clocked out, and caught the 2 a.m. bus home. Her hands still smelled like blood. She thought that was the end of it. She was wrong. 2 days later, Sang-hoon woke up in his private hospital room. The doctors had removed the blockage and closed the emergency airway. His throat was bandaged. His voice was rough. The first thing he said was, "Find her." His second-in-command, Dae-soo, stood by the window. He was a thin man with cold eyes and expensive suits. He'd been with the Choi family for 15 years. He thought he was next in line to lead. "Find who?" Dae-soo asked. "The woman who saved me." "The cleaner?" "Her name," Sang-hoon said. "I want her name." Dae-soo's jaw tightened. "Why?" "The doctors saved you. She just kept you breathing until they arrived." Sang-hoon turned his head slowly. His eyes were hard. She walked into a room full of guns. She cut my throat open with a pen. She didn't hesitate. She didn't panic. I want to know who she is. Dae-soo bowed slightly. I'll find her. But he didn't want to. He'd seen the way Sang-hoon looked at the cleaner, like she was important, like she mattered. Dae-soo had spent 15 years becoming indispensable. He wasn't going to let some random woman take his place. Still, he had no choice. He sent men to the building. They pulled the security footage. They checked the employee records. They found her locker in the basement. Her name was Maya Patterson, age 31, former Army medic, honorable discharge, no criminal record. Current job, night shift cleaner, $12.50 per hour. Dae-soo brought the file to Sang-hoon's hospital room. Sang-hoon read it slowly. When he got to the part about her salary, his expression changed. She saved my life for $12.50 an hour, he said quietly. She was just doing her job, Dae-soo said. Sang-hoon looked up. Her job is to clean floors, not to cut open throats. She chose to help me. She risked her life. What do you want to do? Sang-hoon closed the file. Bring her to me. I want to thank her personally. Dae-soo's hands curled into fists behind his back. Is that wise? She's nobody, she's the reason I'm alive, Sang-hoon interrupted. His voice was quiet, but it had an edge. Bring her to me. Tomorrow. Dae-soo bowed again. Yes, sir. He left the hospital room with the file in his hand. In the elevator, he stood alone and stared at Maya's employee photo, a black woman with tired eyes and her hair pulled back. She looked ordinary, forgettable, but Sang-hoon didn't forget her. That was a problem. Dae-soo pulled out his phone and made a call. I need you to check someone out, he said. Maya Patterson. I want to know everything. Her debts, her family, her weaknesses, everything. He wasn't going to let some cleaner ruin his plans, not without a fight. Maya is brought to the mansion. Sang-hoon gives her a job and a massive salary. The black SUV came for Maya on a Thursday morning. She was sleeping when someone knocked on her apartment door. Hard, loud, the kind of knock that meant trouble. She opened the door and found two men in suits, the same guards from the 50th floor. Mr. Choi wants to see you, one of them said. Maya's heart jumped. Am I in trouble? No, he wants to thank you. Get dressed, we'll wait. 20 minutes later, Maya was in the back of the SUV. They drove through Chicago, past the skyscrapers, past the lake, into a neighborhood where the houses had gates and the lawns looked like golf courses. They stopped in front of a mansion. White stone, tall windows, a fountain in the driveway. The guards led her inside. The floors were marble. The ceilings were 20 feet high. Everything looked like it cost more than Maya's entire life. They brought her to a study. Sang-hoon sat behind a desk made of dark wood. His throat was still bandaged, but he looked stronger. He stood when she entered. Sit, he said. His voice was rough but clear. Maya sat. Her hands were shaking, so she put them in her lap. Sang-hoon studied her for a long moment. Then he smiled. You saved my life. I just did what anyone would do. No, Sang-hoon said. Most people would have run. You walked toward the danger. Why? Maya thought about lying, about saying something humble, but his eyes made her tell the truth. I used to save people, she said, in the army. It's what I was trained to do. I couldn't just stand there and watch you die. Sang-hoon nodded slowly. You're wasted as a cleaner. Maya didn't know what to say to that. I want to hire you, Sang-hoon continued, as my personal medic. You'll live here, you'll travel with me, you'll make sure I stay healthy. In return, I'll pay you $200,000 a year. Maya's breath caught. $200,000. That was almost 2 surgeries, 2 years of her mother's life. She started. Her brain couldn't form words. There's more, Sang-hoon said. He opened a drawer and pulled out an envelope. He slid it across the desk. Maya opened it. Inside was a check, made out to her, for $100,000. Signing bonus, Sang-hoon said. I looked into your situation. Your mother needs a transplant. Consider this a down payment on your loyalty. Tears filled Maya's eyes. She tried to stop them, but they came anyway. She'd been carrying that weight for so long, the bills, the fear, the knowledge that her mother was dying and she couldn't do anything about it. Now, in 1 second, it was gone. Why? Maya whispered. You don't know me. You saved my life without knowing who I was, Sang-hoon said. You didn't ask for money. You didn't ask for anything. That's rare. In my world, loyalty like that is worth more than gold. Maya looked at the check, at the number written in neat black ink. What do you need me to do? Sang-hoon smiled. Keep me alive. That's all. It sounded simple. It wasn't. Maya moved into the mansion that afternoon. They gave her a room on the 2nd floor. It was bigger than her entire apartment. It had a bathroom with heated floors, a closet full of new clothes, a window that looked out over the garden. That night, she called her mother from her new phone. Mama, she said, I got the money. You're going to be okay. Her mother cried. Maya cried. For the first time in 3 years, Maya felt like she could breathe. But in another part of the mansion, Dae-soo watched from the shadows. He'd seen the check. He'd seen Sang-hoon smile at the cleaner like she was family. This woman was a threat, and threats needed to be eliminated. He just had to be smart about it. Maya realizes Sang-hoon isn't just sick. Someone is poisoning him. Maya's new job was simple. Follow Sang-hoon everywhere. Check his vitals twice a day. Make sure he took his medications. Monitor his diet. Keep him healthy. For the first 2 weeks, everything seemed fine. Sang-hoon was polite. He introduced her to his staff. He showed her the house. He treated her with more respect than anyone had in years. But Maya started noticing things. Small things. Sang-hoon had headaches 3 times a week, always in the afternoon. He'd press his fingers to his temples and close his eyes. When she asked about it, he said it was stress. But Maya had seen stress. This was something else. Then there was the nausea. Sang-hoon barely touched his dinner some nights. He'd push the food around his plate and make excuses. Too rich, not hungry, ate too much at lunch. Maya watched. She took notes. She started keeping a journal of his symptoms. On her 3rd week, Sang-hoon collapsed during a meeting. Maya was standing by the door when his eyes rolled back and he hit the floor. She was at his side in seconds. Pulse was racing. Skin was clammy. Pupils were dilated. Call an ambulance, she shouted. But Dae-soo stepped forward. No ambulances. No hospitals. Handle it here. Maya looked up at him. He needs a doctor. You're a medic. You handle it. Maya wanted to argue, but Sang-hoon was groaning. She didn't have time. She got him to his room, checked his blood pressure, started an IV, monitored him for 6 hours until his vitals stabilized. When he woke up, he smiled weakly. You saved me again. What happened? Maya asked. I don't know. I just felt dizzy. But Maya knew. She'd seen these symptoms before. In training. In med school classes. She just didn't want to believe it. The next morning, she went to Sang-hoon's private doctor, an old Korean man named Dr. Lim. He'd been treating Sang-hoon for years. I need to see his medical records, Maya said. Dr. Lim hesitated. Why? Because something's wrong. The headaches, the nausea, The fainting. It's not stress. Dr. Lim pulled the file. Maya read through it carefully. Blood tests from 6 months ago. Normal. Blood tests from 3 months ago. Slightly elevated liver enzymes. Blood tests from last month. Liver enzymes even higher. Has anyone else seen these? Maya asked. Just me and Dae-soo. He handles all of Mr. Choi's medical affairs. Maya's stomach turned cold. I need to run new tests. Today. That afternoon, she drew Sang-hoon's blood herself. She sent it to a private lab, paid extra for rush results. The results came back the next day. Arsenic. Small amounts, not enough to kill quickly, but enough to build up over time, enough to cause headaches, nausea, organ damage, enough to make it look like natural illness. Someone was poisoning Sang-hoon, slowly, carefully, professionally. Maya sat in her room with the lab report in her hands. Her mind was racing. Who had access to Sang-hoon's food, his drinks, his medications? The staff, the guards, the cook, the driver, and Dae-soo. Dae-soo, who handled all the medical affairs. Dae-soo, who didn't want ambulances or hospitals. Dae-soo, who looked at Maya like she was an insect. Maya knew she had to tell Sang-hoon, but she also knew she had to be careful. If she was wrong, she'd look paranoid. If she was right, she'd just made a very dangerous enemy. She waited until that evening, knocked on Sang-hoon's study door. Come in, he called. Maya entered, closed the door behind her, laid the lab report on his desk. You're being poisoned, she said quietly. Sang-hoon read the report. His face didn't change, but his jaw tightened. How long? He asked. At least 3 months, maybe longer. Small doses, probably in your food or tea. Who? Maya took a breath. I don't know yet, but whoever it is has close access to you. They know your routine. They know your diet. Sang-hoon looked up at her. His eyes were dark and cold. Thank you for telling me. Don't mention this to anyone else. Understand? Maya nodded. I'll handle it, Sang-hoon said. But that night, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the lab report, about the arsenic, about the way Dae-soo looked at her. She'd just become the most dangerous person in the house, because she knew the truth. Loving this story? Drop a like and comment to let me know you're hooked. More chapters coming soon. Dae-soo tries to frame Maya for a crime to get her kicked out of the inner circle. Dae-soo knew Maya had figured it out. He saw it in her eyes, the way she watched him now, the way she stayed close to Sang-hoon during meals, the way she checked every cup before Sang-hoon drank. She was smart. That made her dangerous. He needed to get rid of her before she said anything, but he couldn't just kill her. Sang-hoon cared about her. If she disappeared, he'd ask questions. No, Dae-soo needed something better. He needed to destroy her reputation, make Sang-hoon stop trusting her, make her look like the threat. It took him 3 days to set the trap. On Friday night, Sang-hoon hosted a dinner. 20 guests, business partners from Seoul, politicians from City Hall, men in expensive suits who smiled with their mouths but not their eyes. Maya stood by the wall. She wasn't invited to sit. She was just there to monitor Sang-hoon, to make sure he was safe. The dinner went smoothly. Wine flowed, deals were discussed. At 10 p.m., the guests started leaving. At 10:30 p.m., one of them came back. Councilman Park, a fat man with a red face and a loud voice. He stormed into the house with 2 police officers behind him. My briefcase, he shouted. Someone stole my briefcase! Sang-hoon came down the stairs. What are you talking about? I left it in the sitting room during dinner. Now it's gone. It had $50,000 in cash inside, money for a land deal. Sang-hoon's face went cold. Search the house." The guards spread out. They checked every room, every closet, every drawer. Maya stood in the hallway and watched. Her heart was pounding. Something felt wrong. 20 minutes later, one of the guards came down from the second floor. He was carrying a leather briefcase. "Found it," he said. "Where?" Sang-hoon asked. The guard looked uncomfortable. "In Miss Patterson's room, under her bed." The room went silent. All eyes turned to Maya. Her stomach dropped. "That's not mine. I've never seen that before." Councilman Park opened the briefcase, counted the money. "It's all here." He looked at Sang-hoon. "Your medic is a thief." "I didn't take it," Maya said. Her voice was shaking. "Someone put it there." Dae-soo stepped forward. He looked sad, disappointed. "Maya, if you needed money, you should have asked. Mr. Choi has been generous to you." "I didn't take anything." Maya's voice was rising. "This is a setup." "Then how did it get in your room?" Dae-soo asked gently. Maya looked at Sang-hoon. His face was unreadable. "I don't know, but I didn't steal it. You have to believe me." Sang-hoon stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned to Councilman Park. "My apologies. This is very embarrassing." "I want her arrested," Park said. "No," Sang-hoon said. His voice was firm. "The money is returned. No harm done. I'll handle this internally." Park looked like he wanted to argue, but Sang-hoon's expression stopped him. He took his briefcase and left with the police. When the house was quiet again, Sang-hoon looked at Maya. "My office, now." Maya followed him upstairs. Her hands were shaking. This was it. He was going to fire her, maybe worse. Sang-hoon closed the door, turned to face her. "Did you take it?" he asked quietly. "No." "Do you need money?" "No. You already gave me everything I needed. Why would I risk that for $50,000? Sang-hoon nodded slowly. "That's what I thought." Maya's breath caught. "You believe me?" "Someone is trying to turn me against you," Sang-hoon said. "The question is why." Maya hesitated. Then she said it. "Because I know about the poison." Sang-hoon's eyes narrowed. "You think the same person who's poisoning me is framing you?" "Yes." "Who?" Maya took a breath. This was dangerous, but she had no choice. "Dae-soo. He has access to everything, your food, your medicine, your schedule, and he's the one who found the briefcase." Sang-hoon was quiet for a long time. Then he walked to the window and looked out at the dark garden. "Dae-soo has been with me for 15 years, he said. "He's like family." "Family can betray you," Maya said softly. Sang-hoon turned. "Can you prove it?" "Not yet." "Then we wait. But from now on, you don't eat or drink anything you don't prepare yourself. You don't go anywhere alone, and you watch Dae-soo carefully." "What are you going to do?" Sang-hoon smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. "I'm going to give him enough rope to hang himself." Maya nodded. She left the office and went back to her room. The briefcase was gone, but the message was clear. Dae-soo wanted her gone, and he wasn't going to stop until he succeeded. A routine meeting turns into a trap. Maya uses her military skills to drive Sang-hoon to safety. The meeting was supposed to be simple. A warehouse on the south side, a deal with a supplier from Los Angeles. Sang-hoon, Dae-soo, 3 guards, and Maya. They left the mansion at 8 p.m. Maya sat in the back of the SUV next to Sang-hoon. She had a bad feeling, the kind of feeling she used to get in Afghanistan before an IED went off. "You okay?" Sang-hoon asked. Just careful, Maya said. The warehouse was dark when they arrived. Only 2 lights were on inside. The supplier was supposed to meet them with samples. Textiles, Dae-soo had said. High-end fabrics from overseas. But when they walked inside, the supplier wasn't there. Just 6 men with guns. Maya saw them first. She grabbed Sang-hoon's arm. "Get down!" The gunfire started immediately. Bullets tore through the air. Glass shattered. Metal screamed. Maya pulled Sang-hoon behind a concrete pillar. The guards pulled their weapons and fired back. "It's an ambush!" one guard shouted. Dae-soo was on the ground, covering his head. "We need to get out!" Maya looked around. The SUV was 50 feet away. Between them and the door were 6 shooters. Their guards were pinned down. They were trapped. Maya's training kicked in. She assessed the situation like she was back in Kandahar. 6 hostiles, 3 friendlies, 1 principal to protect. Poor cover. 1 exit. "We need to move," she said. "We'll get shot," Dae-soo said. Maya ignored him. She looked at the nearest guard. "Give me your gun." "What?" "Give me your gun. Now." The guard looked at Sang-hoon. Sang-hoon nodded. Maya took the pistol. Checked the magazine. 15 rounds. She turned to Sang-hoon. "When I say run, you run to the SUV. Don't stop. Don't look back. Understand?" "What are you going to do?" "Cover you." Maya didn't wait for permission. She stepped out from behind the pillar and fired 3 shots. Fast, controlled. 2 shooters went down. "Run!" she shouted. Sang-hoon ran. Dae-soo ran. The guards ran. Maya stayed behind the pillar and kept firing. She'd done this before, covering retreats, protecting convoys. The muscle memory was still there. The shooters focused on her. Bullets hit the pillar. Concrete dust filled the air. Maya counted to 3. Then she ran. She made it to the SUV just as the guards were pulling Sang-hoon inside. She dove into the driver's seat. The keys were still in the ignition. "Go! Go!" someone shouted. Maya turned the key. The engine roared. She slammed her foot on the gas. The SUV burst through the warehouse door. Bullets hit the back window. Glass spiderwebbed but didn't break. Armored. Thank God. Maya drove like she was in a war zone. Fast, sharp turns. She didn't slow down until they were 10 blocks away. In the back seat, Sang-hoon was breathing hard. "Everyone okay?" The guards checked themselves. No one was hit. Maya looked in the rearview mirror. Dae-soo was pale, shaking. His eyes met hers in the mirror. He looked surprised that she was still alive. "How did they know we'd be there?" one guard asked. Good question. Maya's hands tightened on the wheel. Only 5 people knew about the meeting. Sang-hoon, Dae-soo, the 3 guards, and her. She'd told no one. That left 4 people. Or 1 person who arranged the whole thing. Maya glanced at Dae-soo in the mirror again. He was staring out the window now. His jaw was tight. When they got back to the mansion, Sang-hoon went straight to his office. He called Maya in and closed the door. "That wasn't random," he said. "No," Maya agreed. "Someone set us up." "Yes." Sang-hoon looked tired, older. "Dae-soo arranged that meeting. He chose the location, he chose the time." Maya didn't say anything. She didn't have to. "I need proof," Sang-hoon said quietly. "I can't move against him without proof." "Then we get proof." Sang-hoon nodded. "Be careful. If he knows we suspect him, he'll move faster." "I will." That night, Maya lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. She'd saved Sang-hoon twice now, but she knew the next attack would be worse. Dae-soo was running out of patience, and desperate men made fatal mistakes. The traitors attack the house. Maya leads the defense and saves Sang-hoon one last time. The attack came 3 nights later. Maya was in her room going over medical supplies when she heard the first gunshot. It was distant, outside the gates. Then she heard the explosion. She grabbed her go bag and ran to Sang-hoon's room. He was already awake, standing by the window. "What's happening?" he asked. Another explosion, closer this time. The windows shook. Maya looked outside. She saw fire at the front gate, men in black masks climbing over the walls, at least 20 of them. "We're under attack," she said. The house alarm started screaming. Guards rushed through the hallways. Gunfire erupted from the first floor. Sang-hoon reached for his phone, but Maya stopped him. "No time. We need to get you somewhere safe." "The panic room," Sang-hoon said. "In the basement." They ran to the hallway. 2 guards joined them. They made it to the stairs when Dae-soo appeared. He had a gun in his hand, and it was pointed at Sang-hoon. "I'm sorry," Dae-soo said. He didn't look sorry. He looked relieved. "But this has gone on long enough." Sang-hoon stopped. His face went cold. "You." "Me," Dae-soo said. "I've given you 15 years. I've built your empire, and you were going to give it all to your useless nephew. I deserve better." "So you tried to kill me?" "I tried to let you die naturally. The poison was supposed to look like liver failure, but then she showed up." Dae-soo's eyes flicked to Maya. "She ruined everything." "The ambush," Sang-hoon said. "That was you too?" "Of course. I needed you both gone. But you're harder to kill than I thought." Dae-soo raised the gun. "Not anymore." Maya moved before he could fire. She threw herself at Dae-soo. The gun went off. The bullet missed Sang-hoon by inches. Maya and Dae-soo hit the ground. She grabbed his wrist, twisting the gun away. Dae-soo was stronger than he looked. He shoved her off and aimed again. One of the guards shot him. Dae-soo fell. Blood spread across his expensive shirt. He looked at Sang-hoon one last time. Then his eyes went empty. "We need to move," Maya said. "Now." More gunfire from downstairs. The attackers were inside. They ran to the basement. The panic room was behind a hidden door. Steel walls, reinforced locks, enough supplies to last a week. But when they got there, one of the guards was bleeding. "I'm hit," he gasped. Blood poured from his stomach. Maya pulled him into the panic room, laid him on the floor. His wound was bad. Without surgery, he'd die in an hour. "Lock the door," Maya said. "What are you going to do?" Sang-hoon asked. Maya opened her medical bag. "Save him." For the next 40 minutes, Maya worked. She stopped the bleeding, cleaned the wound, stitched him up with supplies meant for minor injuries. Outside, the battle raged. Gunfire, shouting, explosions. Inside the panic room, Maya's hands were steady. When she finished, the guard was unconscious but stable. His breathing was even. His pulse was strong. Sang-hoon watched her with something like awe. "You just performed surgery in a basement during a firefight," he said. Maya wiped the blood from her hands. "I've done worse in worse places." Eventually, the gunfire stopped. Silence filled the house. Then someone knocked on the panic room door. "Mr. Choi, it's over. They're gone." Sang-hoon opened the door. His head of security stood there, blood on his face, but alive. "Status?" Sang-hoon asked. 20 attackers, all dead or captured. We lost 3 men, 6 wounded." "Dae-soo?" "Dead, sir." Sang-hoon nodded. He looked tired. "Clean it up. I want answers by morning." The guard bowed and left. Sang-hoon turned to Maya. She was sitting on the floor, covered in blood that wasn't hers. "You saved my life again," he said quietly. "That's my job." "No," Sang-hoon said. "Your job is to keep me healthy. You just fought off an army." Maya stood up. "Your second in command tried to kill you. Your house was attacked. You're going to need someone you can trust." Sang-hoon smiled. a real smile this time.
I already have someone I trust.
He held out his hand. Maya took it.
From now on, Sang-hoon said, you're not just my medic. You're my head of security, my right hand, my most trusted advisor.
Maya's eyes widened. I'm not qualified for—
You're the most qualified person I know, Sang-hoon interrupted. You saved my life 3 times. You uncovered a traitor. You defended my home. If that's not qualified, I don't know what is.
Maya looked at him, at this man who'd seen her when everyone else looked away, who'd given her a chance when she had nothing.
Okay, she said. I'm in.
Sang-hoon pays for the surgery. Maya's mother is healthy. Maya walks into the tower as a respected leader. 2 months later, Maya stood outside Northwestern Memorial Hospital. The sun was shining. The air smelled like spring. Inside, her mother was recovering from her transplant. The surgery had gone perfectly. The kidney was functioning. The doctor said she'd live another 20 years. Maya had been there every day, sitting by her bedside, holding her hand, watching her get stronger. Today, her mother was being discharged. Maya walked into the room. Her mother was dressed and sitting in a chair. When she saw Maya, her face lit up. "Baby girl," she said. Her voice was strong now, clear. Maya hugged her carefully. "Ready to go home?" "More than ready." They took a car back to her mother's new apartment. Sang-hoon had paid for it. 3 bedrooms in a safe neighborhood, rent paid for 5 years. Her mother cried when she first saw it. "You didn't have to do all this," she said. "Yes, I did," Maya said. "You raised me alone. You worked 3 jobs to put me through school. You never gave up on me. This is the least I can do." Her mother pulled her close. "I'm so proud of you." That night, Maya got a call from Sang-hoon. "How's your mother?" he asked. "Good, really good. Thank you for everything." "You earned it. Are you ready to come back to work?" Maya smiled. "Yes." The next morning, Maya walked into the Millennium Tower. But she didn't go to the service entrance. She walked through the front doors. She wore a tailored suit. Her hair was professional. Her shoes clicked on the marble floor. People stared. The executives, the lawyers, the same people who used to ignore her when she pushed a cleaning cart. Now, they moved out of her way. Maya took the main elevator to the 50th floor, Sang-hoon's new office. Her office was next door. On the door, a nameplate read, "Maya Patterson, Chief of Security and Personal Advisor." She opened the door and stepped inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a desk made of dark wood, a view of the entire city. Sang-hoon knocked and entered. "How does it feel?" Maya turned. She thought about the mob, the $12.50 an hour, the invisible girl who no one saw. "It feels right," she said. Sang-hoon smiled. "Good, because we have work to do. With Dae-soo gone, there's a power vacuum in the organization. People are going to test us. They're going to try to take advantage." "Let them try," Maya said. And she meant it. The woman who used to clean floors was gone. In her place was someone stronger, someone who'd been through war and betrayal and came out standing. Someone who'd saved a man's life with a plastic straw and turned it into a second chance. Maya looked out at Chicago, at the city that had ignored her, at the buildings full of people who'd looked right through her. They wouldn't ignore her anymore. She was Maya Patterson, former combat medic, head of security for the most powerful man in the city. And she was just getting started. If you loved Maya's journey from invisible to unstoppable, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought. See you in the next one.